Hey guys, what is going on? It is Grant Smithville, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very cool text effect that is pretty amazing. Before I get jumping right into this video, I want to explain a couple things. At the beginning, you saw a new intro I made in Adobe After Effects, and basically it said Ninja Gaming, and that is actually not the name of my YouTube user. There's been some confusion with that. That's actually a new channel I'm going to be making. It's basically going to be about gaming and some Photoshop things. Whenever I actually make it, I'll specify what it's going to be basically containing in the channel. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. And also, at the beginning of this video, I said my name is Grant Smithville, and that was my other YouTube account. It was like from a very long time ago, and my new account is Smithstruction, but I think it's easier to just to say Grant Smithville because that's how I said it in my other videos. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. So basically, what we are going to be creating today is this really cool kind of effect. You know, you got a very cool reflection. You got a neon glow around this, and yeah, I think that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing today. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make a new layer. The width is 1920, the height is 1080, and the resolution is 100. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make the whole white black. So you can get your paint bucket tool and fill that in. Next, you want to get your text, and you want to make sure that your foreground color is on white. And you just want to click right over here. Okay, so for this example, for this text, I'm actually going to be making the word dream. You want to make sure that your font is on Baby Teeth. I'll leave a link in the description on where to get that font so you guys can check that out. The size I'm going to be doing is 310. Your size may differ depending on how long your word is. I'm using Sharp, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you want to use the letter. You want to use the letter that is last. No, you want to use the letter that's like the beginning letter in your word. So for dream, I'm going to be doing the letter D. So we'll put that right in the middle of the screen. And keep in mind that we are going to be making a reflection, so you want to make sure that you have this exact size for the bottom. So that looks pretty good. We can move that down just a little bit. So that looks pretty good. So we're going to hit OK. So now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make 4 copies of this, because dream is 5-letter word, and so I already have 1 letter for it. So you're just going to hit Control or Command on a Mac, J 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, we pretty much have 5 layers in all of the text. So basically what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to rename these backwards from how the word is spelled. I know that seems a little bit confusing, but you'll understand in a second. So for the top, for the 4th copy, we're going to name that, in my case, M. A. E. R. And then we already have the letter D for that one. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on the M, the top text, and you're going to hold Shift and then click on the last text layer. So that selects that, and you're going to want to hold Control. You're going to Control G, so it's now in a group, and that kind of organizes it a little bit easier. So now, starting with the letter D, we're going to make sure we have our move tool, and we're going to click on the letter D, and we're going to hold shift, and that makes it so that it won't move in any other direction. We're just going to move that all the way over here. Now it looks a little bit off, but it's actually not. It's kind of a weird illusion with the text. So now we're going to click on the R, and we're basically going to move that one too. And you're just going to want to repeat this process a couple times. And for the M layer, we actually don't need to move anything because the M is already right there. So now that we have this, basically what that did is it made different text layers, but as you can see, that wouldn't make sense. So what you're going to do is clicking on the text. As you can see, if I click right here, it only selects that layer. So we're going to actually hold on the left click of the mouse and select over the letter D for that layer. And basically what you're going to want to do is hold shift so you can capitalize any letter, and you can basically change it like that. So now hit on the A layer, and you're going to change that to A. And then E, and then click on the R, change that to R, and then click on the last letter, and as you can see, the last letter is already there. So now we have this pretty cool text already. So we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to be adding a cool little gradient effect to this to make it look more metallic and metalish. So first, for me, I'm going to be starting on the D layer. So we're going to double click, or you can just click on the little effects thing, but double click opens up this little effects window, and the first thing that you're going to want to click on is bevel and emboss. The style is inner bevel, and the technique is chisel hard. The size, we're going to change that to 9, and the soft, we're going to change that to 7. The gloss, leave everything the same as it is except for gloss contour. You want to change that to this one. It's labeled ring. Okay, next we're going to click on the contour, and we're going to leave it just like that. Next we're going to add a gradient overlay, and you just want to have it to this one, the foreground black to white. And basically there we go. So we have that. That's pretty much it. If you want, you guys can add other stuff, some pretty cool stuff, but that's basically where I have it right at the moment. So we're going to hit OK, and then we're going to close this drop down menu right here of the effects, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hold Alt and click and drag the effects to these layers, and basically that adds the same effect to different layers. So we're going to keep holding Alt and dragging these to all the layers, and then we're going to minimize these effects drop down menus. So as you can see, the gradient effect is already added to the text, and that's pretty cool. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to actually position these a little bit weird. Now I know in the beginning when I showed you what the effect's going to look like, I'm actually going to be changing that a little bit. So clicking on, let's start with M, clicking on the M layer. Actually, let's start with the D text. We're going to, actually R, sorry. We're going to, using R, clicking on the R and making sure we have the move tool selected. You can use your arrow keys to actually move the R, so as you can see I'm moving the R, and that's actually going to overlap the the D text, which is actually a pretty cool effect. So now we're going to click on E, make sure you have your move tool selected, and then using the arrow keys use the same thing. I wish it went a little bit faster moving, but that's okay. So you can have it anywhere you like it. You do not have to have it exactly how I have it. Come on. I think that's good. And then getting the M. Come on. So as you can see, we already have a cool little overlapping effect with the text. So we're going to actually minimize the group, and then we can actually move all the text in there, like so. We're going to position that right in the middle of the screen. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding that kind of glow effect to the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to click on our paintbrush tool. And before we do that, we're going to actually go back to group 1, and we're going to click on we're going to click on the D layer. We're going to double click that again, and we're going to actually add a outer glow to that. And the spread is going to be maybe 8, and the size is going to be about 9. Actually, maybe 10. There we go. That's pretty much good. Okay. So we're gonna hit OK, and then we're again holding Alt and clicking and click and drag the effects again to the other layers. So basically that adds the same effect to all the text. So now that we have the glow, we actually are going to want to make that all different colors. So we're going to click on our new layer that we made, and clicking on our paintbrush tool, you're going to want to have a paintbrush. Soft round is a good one, I would say. So now we're going to reduce the size a little bit. If you actually hold you can actually hit shortcuts on the keyboard to size them up. I'm not going to clarify. It's kind of right by the P text. It's actually the two little bars, right next to the P on your keyboard. The right one will size it up, the left one will size it down. But I want to get somewhere around maybe 250. That's about good. You want to make sure that the opacity is up all the way. Excuse me. I accidentally clicked there. Let me click Control J. Okay, Control Alt Z, so I can erase it. So I'm back. So we're on layer 1, and I have my paintbrush. And now this is actually a kind of fun part. You want to click on the color, and you just want to click. You just want to have certain colors that you like, and that it's gonna make the glow of the text. So we're gonna hit OK. So now what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be putting this on the text and make sure that you get it on the outer glow part. So as you can see, we have some of the red on that, and I know this is looking like it's totally destroying it, but hang on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have like a very nice, maybe orange. That looks about good. And you guys can have whatever you want. You do not have to copy me at all. Yes, that's looking nice. Alright, so now that we have our orange, we're going to start getting into maybe like a nice yellow. What makes this more realistic is using colors that are kind of in the same category, you know. Then we're going to get into our greens a little bit. And then our blues. I'm going to use a lighter blue, like right there. And then right at the end, I'm going to use a pink. Okay, so now we have this big giant blob of color. What we're going to be doing is going to filter, go down to blur, and click on Gaussian blur. Now because we have a huge amount of color and it's a little bit upscale, we're going to be reducing it to, we're going to actually be having it about maybe 49.6, somewhere around there, and click OK. So now we're going to actually click right here, and we're going to go down to color. Now as you can see, that is already a very cool effect. I mean, that looks amazing. But what I want is kind of to have the inside of the text not colorful. We will add a little bit of color to that. We will add a tint of the color still there, but not so radiant. Oh, I don't know what I did. I accidentally color. Okay. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to click. Okay, so we're going to go to our M layer, and we're going to hold Shift. Oh wait, no, not Shift. Alt. What? No? Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. Control. Click on the M. So as you can see, it selected it, and hold Shift so that it creates a very nice text layer, just like that. And so it selects all the text. And now what we're going to be doing is using the eraser tool. You're going to want to have the eraser tool, the opacity to about 84%. It'll ask you to rasterize it, just say OK. So now that we have all the text selected, you just want to, oh, I'm sorry, you want to click on the color layer. You're going to want to erase it just like that, but as you can see, it left a little bit of tint of color, which is exactly what we want. So now with that, actually, you know what, it's a little bit too now that it's actually just like that, you want to I actually decided that it's actually, I want a little bit less color than that. So I'm going to click back on the color layer, and I'm actually going to make it 290. You can have it however you want. If you want it to be more or less, or just how it was. So I'm going to click about maybe 90. And then I'm going to just make sure I'm the color layer, and just erase part of that. So it adds just a very small tint of the color from the glow to the text, which adds more realistic effect to it. But as you can see, it didn't erase the outer glow, it just erased the glow inside. Okay, so now we can actually hit Control or Command D to deselect, or you can go over here and go right here. So now we have this pretty cool effect going on already. Now you can leave it like this, but I'm going to be adding a very nice reflection and a little bit of lighting to this. So basically how we do the reflection on this is actually a pretty cool method. You're going to want to click on the D text layer, and you're going to want to hold Shift and click on the M so it selects all those texts, and you're just going to right click and duplicate that layer, those layers. So as you can see, we have a very nice duplicate, and with those still selected, we can hit Control G so it puts another group of only those, and like that. We're actually going to be moving this. Actually, no, we're just going to leave it like that. So group 2 is actually in group 1. It's a little bit confusing, I know, but yes. So clicking on group 2, as you can see, we have these. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit File. No, you're going to go Edit, Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. Now you want to make sure you're on group 2, which is the layers that we just duplicated. So as you can see, it pretty much duplicated, it pretty much flipped the duplicated layers uh, upside down. So holding shift, click on the text and drag it down so that it doesn't move, and you just want to make sure it's on right below the original text. So there we go, and that looks pretty good. So still on group 2, the duplicated layers, you want to change the opacity down to about 20 so it looks like it's a little bit less, it makes it look a little bit like it's reflecting off the bottom. And I do like how some of the color of the original text uh, shines light on the bottom. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to make this look a little bit more realistic because the reflection is actually not in, it doesn't have any color around it. So to do that, we're going to click on the layer 1, the layer where we made the color, and we're just going to duplicate that, Control or Command J. So as you can see, it created a duplicated layer of that, and holding shift we can click and drag the other text and make sure it's on the make sure it matches where it make sure it covers every bit. So just like that. And now what we're going to do is clicking on group 2, we're going to hit Control, click, oh, no, not like that. Click on Control, T, E, oh wait, Control Shift, A, R, D, and M. So as you can see, it made a selection, and now we're going to get our eraser tool. Okay, make sure the opacity is 90% like last time. And we're going to click on the layer, the color layer copy, and we're just going to erase part of it. And then clicking on the layer color that we did for the original text, we're going to erase part of that. Actually, hold on. Clicking on the layer color that we did before, I'm just going to erase part of that. And then click on the other layer, we can just erase that. I didn't mean to go back, yeah, just like that. So now we're going to hit Control or Command D to deselect, and as you can see, it created a very cool realistic reflection of the original text. But we still need a little bit more of lighting on the bottom. So what we can do, actually before we do that, I actually want to create a little bit more realistic effect on the original text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the elliptical marquee tool, and I'm going to make sure I have a white foreground to white foreground and black background color. I'm just going to move it just like that and have it kind of like on the top half of the text, just like that. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down to fill, and you want to make sure it says use foreground color and it's going to be white. You're going to hit OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to normal, and we're going to go, I believe, screen. Actually, no, not screen. We're going to add soft light. So it adds a little bit of white reflection to the text. And then we're going to hit Control or Command D to deselect. But we're going to go to opacity, change that down to about 20. So it adds a very nice light effect to the text, and we're also going to be doing that to to the bottom text. So again, again, adding and you can recite, you can actually want to try to make it perfect, kind of like how the other one looks. You can move it down so that it kind of matches where yours is. So about like right there, and then we're going to fill that one with white again and using soft light. Yes. Now we're actually going to scale the opacity up a little bit because it looks a little bit like it needs some more. 20. Actually 20 is about good. So we can go select, deselect, and it adds another light effect to the bottom. So now we're going to add the light effect to the bottom of kind of just to add a little bit of light to this picture. So we're going to create a new layer, and clicking on the paintbrush tool, same one as last time, the soft round, and we're going to change the opacity to 1, and we're going to make sure we're on white, and we can scale that up using the brackets right there, the same ones that I used last time, and holding shift and click, we can actually just like move it across the screen, and then clicking at the top, holding shift, we can move it down a little bit, and then you can actually just free hold it just like that. So you can see we made like a kind of curved bottom light, and if you want, you can even go to filter, go, I believe, to render, yes, and then you can go lighting effects, and then as you can see it creates one. You can go like right there, go over to the side a little bit. Oh, whoa, that's way too much. And we can actually turn this the negative a little bit so that it doesn't add too much of a lighting effect. Actually, and you know what, we should actually go to background, and then go to lighting effects. So you can barely see a light going on, but if we scale that up a little bit, start to make some kind of just like that, and somehow that kind of messed it up. So we can just hit Control Alt Z. So that's why it's kind of easier just to make your own kind of lighting effect on the bottom. So that was it, guys. You can add some more effects if you want. You can add some other techniques that people used in other tutorials, but that was it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, bye.